of December. And one of the things that I believe I can provide as a real asset to the organization is the fact that though I've been on other type of committees and everything through my career, whether it be from a civilian standpoint or military standpoint, I've dealt in a lot of different departments, made a lot of decisions, and I really feel that my decision-making ability is excelled by the fact that I'm very fact-based kind of individual. So I believe that instead of conversations, I think the facts speak for themselves, and I think based on that, that's how we go about making the better decisions for the city. The Planning Commission, as somebody asked the question, why this particular one? I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I can see the results of what I would be able to contribute long term. And I think we have to look at short term as well as long term and understand the implications of that, whether it be in the next 3 years or the next 20 years. But I think that Town of Superior is really underrated a lot in terms of what we offer and provide to a family. And I think that my participation in that could help to get us to a level where we once again can be very independent but very proud of where we live.
Great, thank you. Questions from the board? Sure. Trustee Williams.
I'm just wondering, did you watch the town center process, and how did you think that went? And again, what changes would you have made?
Well, it certainly is very controversial. And though I didn't agree with a lot that went on in the town center itself, I think there's aspects of it that could be very beneficial to the town of Superior. I think it could have required some additional due diligence, but at the same time, it's pretty much the decision's been made. So I don't know what other alternatives we have at this point in time. So unless I understood that better, I really don't think I'm qualified to make a recommendation on anything at this point.
Thank you.
Trustee Pennington.
Have you attended or watched Planning Commission meetings? Are you familiar with what they deal with, and how do you feel you would approach your role as Planning Commissioner?
Well, I believe there's 12 members on the committee. Is that correct?
There's 9.
9, okay. I just made up 3 more, okay. You know, if I look at the property that's still available and what we're going to be doing with that, for instance, over by the Horizons, for instance, there's a parcel of land there that I've been told at some point that there could be a hotel there. I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like a very good idea because of the location and not having that many hotels on this side of 36. But at the same time, I think that it's an area that possibly could be used more beneficial for other things. Also, there's a parcel that's down off Colton Road in McCaslin that's been, I think there's been a lot of discussion around that one as to what could be done with that as well. And once again, I think it could be done, could be developed to the point of being very beneficial to the city, but we'd have to look at different alternatives and different contractors as to how we could do that the best for the city. I don't think it's a short-term type of decision, but something we need, once again, to have the facts on as to what the opportunities could be for there, some recommendations on how they'd financially be able to impact the city long-term. So it has a lot to do with the parcels that are still available and what we can do with them and for the benefit of all, not just a select few.
Others?
I think one of the things that Sandy mentioned too is, have you been to Planning Commission meetings? And I think you have attended Planning Commission meetings. I think I've seen you there before in the past.
I have.
Yes.
Not many, but I have been there. Yes, so I have somewhat of an idea of what the job entails.
Not many of us, other than us, who ended up on the Planning Commission want to attend Planning Commission because they're good. I like them, but I like them. But anyway, so again, I ask the same question, which is, it's a commitment. You know, when you go on the Planning Commission, I would expect that someone would make the commitment to be there for the 4 years for the duration, attend the meetings, actually encourage meetings, you know, and make sure to go through the things that are important, just like that you were bringing out. So from what you're saying, the fact that you're up here, I assume that you would answer affirmatively that you are committed to this in a 4-year commitment, and that you would do the work necessary to actually participate in the decision-making process on the committee. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that you kind of caught me at a great time here, because the reason I'm saying that is I hope to be able to retire, so to speak, from my civilian occupation at this point in time. I'm retired from the military, so I don't have to worry about that one anymore. So I would have plenty of time to be able to see and read and research and be kept up to speed on what's going on. And so I have the time now to be able to do that. With not working in a civilian capacity any longer, that would still give me even more time to be more involved with it. Not only with the planning committee, but also the other committees that interface with that as well.
Thank you.
That's good. Any other questions?
No, he just answered the question I was going to ask, which was why particularly now, but that you just answered that.
You've lived in town for quite a while. I know that you've attended a lot of the meetings during the town center process. How do you envision the town in 5-10 years from now? You've seen a lot of changes since you've been here, and most recently. And then how do you envision it moving forward?
Well, I hope that based upon the trustees and the mayor we have here, that we're going to be moving very forward very quickly. I also would like to see that the merchants that we have here get some additional benefits in terms, and I'm not sure if tax concessions is the right way to go with that, but I think that in order for us to prosper the way we need to, and in order for us to be that type of town that stands alone and that is by itself recognized as one of the top in the country, that we need to have more businesses here and be able to support them better. So I see the opportunity as a good one for the town of Superior, not only from the last 5 years, but more so for the next 5 years coming.
Sounds good. We're kind of pushing up against our time, so I'll close with a question we always ask about conflicts of interest. Any perceived conflicts of interest with you potentially serving on the Planning Commission?
Not really. I mean, I've been on other type of committees and everything throughout my career in both the Army as well as civilian. So conflicts, I really don't have any that I can think of.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for your time.
Sure. Thank you.
Next, we have Tom Lyons, and he's also an applicant for the Planning Commission.
Good evening. Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, thanks for entertaining me today, or I don't know if that's quite the right word. Entertaining my application, I guess, for Planning Commission. I grew up in Boulder and went to Boulder High and graduated from the University of Colorado in 1988 and moved to San Francisco in seek of fame and fortune and found neither, and found myself back here in 2000, in which time this community had gone from a little town. I joke with some of you, when I was younger, George Kuffner's son and I were classmates together, and we used to always have parties in Superior at the Kuffner place. So suffice it to say, when I moved back and everyone said, oh, you should check out this place, Superior, and it's changed quite a bit. Anyway, I moved back here in 2000 and got married and have a son at El Dorado in the 4th grade. And I started talking with several of you about this opportunity and sort of how to get more involved in the community. And I've been involved with the local Cub Scout pack as the Cub Master. We've done some things around the town with the National Day of Service. Been involved at the school and with some of the YMCA youth teams. And I just think that I would bring a good perspective to the Planning Commission. And before you ask, I haven't been to a Planning Commission meeting, but I have to tell you, and Clint knows this firsthand, I am an avid fan of Channel 8, and I do tend to watch all of you, normally at about 3 in the morning when I can't sleep. So I just got a text from my son who said, Dad, I saw the back of your head on TV. So as far as I'm concerned, it's been a win for me today.
Can I just ask, is that a remedy for not being able to sleep?
It is an absolute remedy. I would highly recommend, if you can't sleep, turn on Channel 8.
Questions from the board?
Same
Trustee
thing for
Benton.
me. Why the planning commission?
Well, Sandy, I think